Does your child or soon-to-be child have Down syndrome? Down syndrome is a genetic mutation which occurs in the 21st chromosome. A mutation is when DNA is damaged or changed. Chromosomes are strands of genes which are made up by DNA. Genes control your hair color, your height, eye color, and much more. Genes are bits of information that are passed right from the parents to the offspring cell. There are 23 chromosomes and 2 copies of each. People with Down syndrome have 3 copies of chromosome 21 instead of the regular 2. This occurs during meiosis, which is a form of cell division that occurs in multicellular organisms when they produce sex cells or the sperm and egg. This happens during sexual reproduction. This is when 2 organisms are creating another organism by mixing genetics. There are 2 ways Down syndrome can occur. The first way is trisomy 21. This is when there are 3 copies of chromosome 21 instead of 2. When the egg is fertilized by a sperm, which results in a pregnancy, the fetus has 3 copies of chromosome 21 instead of 2. This causes a whole extra set of alleles. Alleles are copies of genes. Each characteristic has 2 alleles for that characteristic. Scientists believe because of the extra genes from the 3rd chromosome 21, it disrupts the normal course of development. The second way, which is less common, is during meiosis, when 1 copy of chromosome 21 attaches to a different chromosome. This results in 2 normal copies of the chromosome and part of the chromosome attached to a different chromosome. This is called translocation Down syndrome. This is not something you inherit, meaning you get it passed down from your parent, but just a random mutation. Down syndrome can be diagnosed during the 1st or 2nd trimester of pregnancy. That is done by a karyotype, which is a chromosomal analysis. This is then confirmed by a blood test. Doctors may suspect the baby has Down syndrome if the fetus has water at the back of its neck. The other way Down syndrome is diagnosed is at birth. Doctors may notice features the baby has. Some of their characteristics, which are distinguishing qualities such as eye shape, may be different. Babies with Down syndrome tend to have almond-shaped eyes with an upward slant, weak muscle tone, a small flat nose, a small body frame. These are all traits which are specific versions of characteristics that a baby with Down syndrome may have. Down syndrome can occur in all ethnic groups and any gender of baby. Women that are having a baby above the age of 35 are more likely to have a child with Down syndrome. However, it can occur in any age woman, and a woman over 35 can still have a baby without Down syndrome. There is no cure to Down syndrome, however, there are treatments. Babies with Down syndrome should get their heart, eyes, and thyroids checked. They should also get a blood cell count. By doing these things, the child with Down syndrome may be able to live a longer, healthier life because you will know their body weaknesses and faults at a younger age. For example, if they have a bad heart, you will be able to prepare yourself for the child possibly having heart problems when they are older. The child should also take speech therapy because it takes them longer to learn how to talk and pronounce specific words. It also gives them social activity, which is good because their social development is slower. The process of meiosis contributes to Down syndrome because during meiosis, sex cells are making copies of chromosomes, and then those chromosomes are mixing DNA. During this, there ends up being a malfunction, and there are 3 copies of chromosome 21 instead of 2. Mitosis is the cells making copies of themselves to grow the body or replace dead cells, such as when you get a cut and you need new blood cells. This contributes to Down syndrome because when the cells have 3 copies of chromosome 21 and copy themselves, the new cells then have 3 copies of chromosome 21 as well. A similar process occurs. The cells are copied, and because part of the chromosome was misplaced, it is again misplaced because in mitosis, the cells are copies of the parent cells. And some of the cells have 3 chromosome 21s and others have 2. This is from a malfunction in mitosis because the fetus starts off as a cell with 2 chromosomes, 21s, but then when there's a malfunction during mitosis, there ends up being a cell with 3 chromosome 21s, and that cell continues to get copied, and then the baby is born with Down syndrome.